Hey everybody, a couple of my viewers had asked for an update on the car, so I wanted to provide you with that. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Here we are closing out 2023. Pretty big year for the car. Finally got to hit the 1,000,000 miles earlier this year. Got to enjoy that with my friends that came down from the Northeast, and family came up from Texas for that. I got to do that in Great Smoky Mountain National Park in Tennessee, so that was a lot of fun. Updates. I've officially quit driving deliveries. We're still going to accumulate mileage on the car. Still using it basically as my daily driver. So I expect to accumulate probably about 25,000 miles a year or so, give or take. But we're no longer going to have any of those big mileage years with 100,000 plus going on the car each year. So just too much time away from home, so had to call quits on that. All right, so I'll give you a walk around here of the car in a second with the engine updates and things like that. Other car stuff, got the 9th gen over there. Got a kicker powered sub for that, so I'm going to be putting that in. I'll put a video up about that. To date, the most viewed video on my channel continues to be the kicker sub that's actually in this car. So that'll probably be my next highest video, will be the sub video. But anyhow, so did that, or going to do that, and then also put a ambient lighting kit in there, so it's, you know, decent little amount of blue light at night in that thing. So other stuff, 2024. So my wife surprised me with a bunch of concert tickets for Christmas. So this next year we're going to be going to rock concerts literally from coast to coast. We've got a show that we're going to see in Daytona Beach, Florida, as well as Seattle, Washington, shows in Texas and stuff. So super excited about that. A lot of really great bands, some of the bands we've never seen that we've wanted to see for years. You know, I've never seen Metallica. Pantera is out with some new members and stuff, so it'll be cool to see them. Def Leppard, my favorite band of all time. I'm going to see them once again this next year. Several other ones in this moment, and just a whole bunch of other bands that they play on Octane, so super excited about that. So that's the advantage of not doing the driving anymore, is I got more time to actually live. So I'm going to be having a lot of fun doing that this next year. Let's see, other stuff. I'm waitlisted for a Ram Charger. Don't know, I'm not 100% that I'll get one. I am definitely very intrigued by the numbers on it, what they're putting out. Ram is putting out that the truck should go 145 miles on battery power only. So I actually could commute back and forth to my job basically just on battery power on that. So we'll see if it actually turns out how they're saying, but it's basically what they're calling a series hybrid, where the gas engine in there just charges the batteries, and so then the battery is actually what's providing the power to the electric motors, which are turning the wheels. So the gas engine's not actually turning the wheels on that thing. They're estimating a tank of gas should last, I think, 690 miles. So pretty interesting numbers on that. We'll see if it actually turns out that way, but I was intrigued enough to, you know, get on the wait list for that. It was only $100, so, you know, we'll see. But, you know, thinking about getting one of those possibly. But other than that, you know, just more driving the car this next year. I am definitely planning on going to H-Day in the spring. Had a blast there last year. Javier and his crew put the car right up front there at the entrance. That was super cool of them. Really appreciated that. That was a lot of good exposure for the car and the car's story and everything. So I had a lot of fun up there. Met a lot of people. Some people that had been watching the channel for a while and I've talked to before, and then met some others there. So I am definitely planning on going up to that. They haven't released dates yet for next year, but I'm hoping it's at the same place as it was last year at the Maryland International Speedway in April is what I'm hoping for. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely plan on driving the car up there, taking some time off work, going up there and seeing friends again and stuff. So so a lot of rock shows next year, and then H-Day, and then just, you know, more just keeping the car on the road and everything. So you know, the car is my daily driver, and, you know, most of the time I just hop in it and drive it to work and stuff. But, you know, every once in a while I do kind of take time to appreciate, you know, this is one of the only cars ever that's hit 1,000,000 miles, and that, you know, it's still on the road. Yeah, new engine and stuff, but, you know, it's still on the road and stuff and still accumulating mileage. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around here, and let's talk about some stuff with the new engine here. All right, so this is the OEM Honda engine that I got from PTR. Sean at PTR hooked me up with this. He has a whole bunch of J30s, J35s that he's selling. Got a few of his performance parts on here as well. Overall, everything's been going well. Just a couple little nitnoid details, kind of little annoyances and stuff like that that are going on right now. One thing, you can see some coolant residue there. I'm going to replace the hoses again, and I'm going to use the spring clamps this time instead of the screw clamps. So I got a little bit of leakage there. So I'm going to get all that cleaned up. Another thing that's been going on with the engine, just real periodically, the VTEC is acting up. When that throws a code, it ends up doing the little traction caution triangle and the TCS lights on the dash and the engine light. And when that happens, you lose cruise control. When I shut the car off and turn it back on, it resets, usually not the engine light right away, but the other lights go away and I get cruise control back. More of an annoyance than anything. It shouldn't be happening with a new engine, but for some reason it did. And so what I did was I swapped the VTEC from the million mile engine on here, which that had been replaced at one point. Car still just occasionally having the VTEC issue, so ordered another VTEC solenoid. I've got that in the garage, just haven't put it on yet. So just little things like that, but overall running well. Haven't checked the mileage lately, but after I put the engine in, I was getting like 26.5, and then I think I got like 27.1 as it was breaking in, getting a little bit better. So as far as the break-in goes, here's what we did. So start out using Quaker State 5W20. That's what the weight that it calls for from the factory, and it's actually hard to find just regular straight up conventional oil now. So I went to Walmart and literally the only conventional oil they had there was Quaker State. So I bought a couple jugs of that. We put that in there and then started the car up, let it run for about 15 minutes or so between idle, and then ran the engine up to a couple thousand RPM before we drove it, and then drove it lightly for the first 1,000, 1,500 miles or so, something like that. But as far as oil changes go, the original Quaker State we left in there for about 700 miles, changed it out, did another round of Quaker State conventional 5W20 for another approximately 700 miles, and then I switched to Mobil 1. So I'm back to running Mobil 1 5W20 synthetic like I did for most of the lifetime of the million mile engine. So I ran Mobil 1 for just over 6,000 miles. I think it was like 61 or just 6,200 miles. Changed that out. Oil looked great. Actually didn't use a drop of oil in the 6,000 plus miles during that oil change interval, so I was really happy with that. And then I've got Mobil 1 in there again. I'll continue to run that for the rest of the engine's life. So that's really cool, because even the original engine in the car, once I switched over to synthetic around 140K or so on the engine, I was going through a quart of oil like every 4,000 to 5,000 miles, and then of course as the mileage went up on the engine, it just got progressively worse to where I was burning more and more oil. So to have 6,000 miles where it didn't even move on the dipstick at all, I was really happy with that. So all right, so currently I've got just over about 10.5 on this new engine. The old engine had 1,015,708 on it. That number is kind of etched in my memory because it took so long to get everything switched out with the engine. So right now you see it's got 1,026,282 miles. So like I said, a little over 10.5 on it. So real nice. Really glad that it's quiet now. Not nice that I got all 6 cylinders. It's not making noise, not spewing out a bunch of nastiness out of the exhaust or anything like it was before on the 5 cylinders. So a whole lot better than it was. Just did a quick little interior wipe down earlier. Didn't do like a full detail or anything, but just tried to clean up a little bit for the video here. But yeah, it's doing pretty well. All right, so we'll provide updates along the way, and should have some good footage from H-Day when I go to that in spring. So, all right, thanks a lot for following along. I always appreciate the comments and the views and everything. Thanks for following along with the car story. Have a great day. See you later.